Well, this is Athena Jezik. We're going to do some feet today, and I would like to know if you like feet. If feet are something that you like, if feet are something that you don't like, if you think people's feet are gross, if you don't want to touch people's feet, if your feet are stiff and sore, if your feet are flexible, if you're happy about your feet, and if you appreciate your feet for getting you from point A to point B. I'd like to know your comments, so please just let me know about your feet. Thank you. We're going to be demonstrating foot and lower leg. This is Courtney. So we will get started. First, we're going to apply some oil. When you apply it, it's recommended to start distal and move more proximal. Start farther out and move farther in is a good way to do it. And when you pull back, if you're coming down the leg, you don't come down with a lot of pressure, because in massage therapy, as some of you may know, some of you may not, you want to push things toward the heart, the blood circulation toward the heart, so you don't want to take a lot of long, tight strokes away from the heart. In lymphatic work, it's entirely different. You're working with a different system. So you work it proximal to distal, but in massage, you're working distal to proximal. So we'll start out with this side. Now we're just going to start going into the feet, toes, this little toe. Now, routines on smaller things like feet or hands, oftentimes there's different positional things that people do, and so a lot of times the routine that you might have set for it is going to be altered to accommodate anything that's going on that you might feel in these areas of the body. The back is usually pretty standard. You'll just run into knots here and there, but when you start dealing with feet, there's a lot of issues. You'll notice there's a lot of feet that are shaped in all kinds of ways, and some of that shaping has to do with the kind of shoes we wore as children, giving us actually growing our feet a little crooked in some cases. Sometimes people, I've noticed more and more, they're wearing socks that have each toe. There's sandals that have toes in each, a separator in each toe. And there's also some toe separators that you can purchase that help to align and put the feet in a better alignment, especially when the feet are kind of come together in certain ways. The more a person goes barefoot, the better off their feet are. And if you can walk on uneven surfaces, that's even better, because that's really what the foot was designed to do. It's really not designed to just be shoved into a shoe, a hard shoe. And it's really not designed to be wearing high heels, but we do and we will. So being mindful of other things we can do to maintain good foot alignment is important. So I'm just working the tops and the bottom. It's a little easier to work the bottoms from face down. And then we're going to just come up the tibia. Now this sometimes can be kind of painful. It takes a lot of tension sometimes in this muscle, so you want to not gouge yourself in. If it feels washboardy, there's tension, so you just want to go up it until you feel the muscle smoothening out. It has some body to it, and you can do a little cross fiber right down. And this feels pretty smooth. You'll notice, you'll be able to tell, people who do the yoga, they're more stretched, their muscles are more pliable. People who do more weight training, they're going to be a little more bulky, a little more tense. The muscles are developing different in that. And we're going to go up the other side. Now this is a little different on that side, but you want to go right along the bone. I find going right along the bone, but not with a lot of pressure. You can feel, if it feels like little bumps and washboard thing, that's tension. So it can be painful, so don't go with a lot of force. Just work it up and then work outside the muscle a little bit. And you can also grab some of the gastrocnemius muscle, the calf muscle, and knead that forward in this inner thigh work or inner calf work. And then the knee, I like to go around the knee, and then I like to check the kneecap if the kneecap is moving well. Sometimes it almost feels like the kneecap will be creaking and squeaking almost because it's a little stuck, but you get it to move in a different direction and get that nice movement around it. Okay, and then the other foot, the same thing. Start with the toes. And work yourself up the top of the foot, going between the bones of the feet, these tarsal bones, metatarsal bones, and bottoms. You can work the bottoms however. Heel, the heel will move. That bone will also move. You can do a little bit of movement there. Up there, and then going up the side, the lateral side, getting the muscles. This leg feels a little smoother than the other one. We do tend to have one side that's a little more obedient than the other. We always have a bit of a rebellious side. This leg is her obedient side. It doesn't have quite the tension that the other leg does. I don't know anybody that's perfectly symmetrical. And here we go with the inside of the lower leg. Up to the knee. Check the kneecap. See how well it's moving. And then you can come back down if you want to do a little more stretching of the toes. There's the where you can stick your fingers. You may or may not be able to get them between each toe. The more you can get your fingers in, the better alignment their feet are. And sometimes it's a little higher. This is a pretty good spread of the toes. These are well taken care of feet. And just working them a little bit that way, stretching them, and then rolling them back down in a little ball this way. But you want to be careful when you're bending joints, because sometimes the joints are very stiff. The range of motion and the stuff that we do with our toes is usually pretty limited, so a lot of times people will have more of a hammer toe or very stuck joints, and so you want to be careful at that. Just check the feet and then roll them under. You want to kind of hold it like that, so you're giving a little traction to the joint as you're bending it down. Okay, and then to lift, when you lift up the leg, you can kind of globally feel how the hips are doing, and then set them down and see if the turnout pattern is about the same. Looks pretty good. With a little bit of distortion, which is probably coming in the hip, from the hip.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. And I think there's a little bell up there that you can hit that you'll get a notification every time we post. So if you want to, you can hit that too. But thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it.